The devil cannot cross this bloodline. Today, I want you to hear me clearly, not with the ears of your flesh, but with the ears of your spirit. There is a line that God Himself has drawn, a divine boundary, a sacred hedge of protection, a line not written by human hands, not carved in earthly dust, but sealed in the heavenly realm by the authority of Almighty God. The enemy may roar, he may shake the ground beneath your feet, he might come close enough to intimidate you, but one thing he cannot do, he cannot cross the line God has drawn around you. This is not a maybe, this is a certainty. When God establishes a boundary, it is eternal, it is immovable, it is unshakable. The devil is a trespasser. He always tries to enter places where he has no authority. He whispers lies into your mind, steers fear in your heart, plants doubt into your spirit, but he has limits. He is not sovereign, he is not in control, he is not all-powerful, he is restrained, he is confined, he is stopped by the very hand of God. And when this truth sinks into your spirit, fear will die, doubt will crumble, and your faith will rise like a mountain that cannot be shaken. The enemy may stand on the other side, but he is powerless to invade territory that God has claimed as his own. What is this bloodline? It is the mark of divine ownership, the invisible wall that declares this belongs to God. It is the spiritual barrier that no curse, no witchcraft, no evil power, no demonic force, no darkness can penetrate. This line is not drawn by the strength of man, but by the authority of God Himself. When God draws a line, no creature in heaven, on earth, or under the earth can erase it. Many of you live in fear that He can steal whenever He wants, attack whenever He pleases. But hear this clearly today, that is a lie. He is limited. He is restricted. He is chained by the command of God. Yes, he can threaten. Yes, he can try to intimidate you, but intimidation is not invasion. He may approach the border, but he cannot cross the bloodline that God has drawn around you. Fear gives him power he does not truly have. Doubt gives him room he does not deserve. But when you know the truth, you stand firm, you rise tall, and you declare with boldness, the devil cannot cross this bloodline. Think of it this way. When God protected His people in ancient times, He did not just give them weapons, He gave them separation. He made a difference between His children and the children of destruction. When darkness covered the land, light remained in the dwellings of His people. When destruction struck the nations, safety reigned among those who were His. Why? Because there was a divine line invisible to men but unbreakable to the enemy. That same principle remains true today. You may not see it with your natural eyes, but in the realm of the Spirit there's a hedge, a wall, a covering over you. This is the bloodline. This is the barrier. This is the divine no-entry sign against every force of darkness. The devil cannot cross it. And yet the enemy thrives on deception. He wants you to believe he has crossed. He wants you to think that sickness has broken through, that poverty has breached the wall, that depression has invaded your territory. But let me tell you, those are only lies. They are illusions designed to make you surrender your peace, your confidence, and your authority. The enemy does not conquer by power. If you believe his lies, you will act defeated. But if you hold on to the truth of God's protection, you will stand undefeated. The truth is this: there is a bloodline and the devil cannot cross it. My friend, the reason you are still standing, the reason you are not consumed, the reason you are not destroyed is because God has kept you behind his line of protection. Look back over your life. Think of the times you should have fallen, the times you should have lost everything. Yet here you are, not because you are strong, not because you are wise, but because the hand of God kept you. The enemy tried, but he failed. It plotted, but he could not succeed. It wanted to cross the line, but he was stopped. And if God has kept you this far, what makes you think he will abandon you now? He who drew the line yesterday is still guarding it today, and he will guard it tomorrow. The enemy hates boundaries because they remind him of his defeat. He cannot enter where God has forbidden. It cannot destroy what God has preserved. It cannot steal what God has secured. It cannot touch what God has marked. That is why he trembles at the sight of faith. Faith is the reminder that you know the truth. Faith is the weapon that makes you unshakable. Faith is the bold declaration that says, I am protected. I am covered. And when you speak that truth with conviction, the enemy has no choice but to retreat. But hear me, this is not a call to sit in passivity. This is not a call to sleep while the enemy shouts. No, this is a call to stand in the authority of God. This is a call to lift your voice and declare the truth daily. This is a call to guard your mind against the lies of fear. This is a call to walk boldly, knowing that God has marked your life. Do not give the devil room with your words. Do not give him ground with your doubts. Do not give him access with your fear. Stand behind the bloodline with confidence. Speak the truth. Declare the promises of God. Live in the assurance of his covering. The devil knows he cannot cross, but he also knows that if you believe he can, you will act as though you are unprotected. Do not fall into that trap. Recognize the schemes of the enemy. Expose his lies. Crush his deception. And proclaim with a loud voice, God has set a boundary around me. I am sealed. I am preserved. I am protected. The devil cannot cross this bloodline. This bloodline is not only over your life, it is over your family. Your children are covered. Your household is marked. Your generations are sealed. The enemy may try to whisper curses. He may try to stir up confusion. He may try to plant seeds of destruction, but he cannot cross the line. Do not fear for your children. Do not tremble for your household. Place them before God daily and know that they are within the boundary of divine protection. Music. Even when they are far from your eyes, they are never far from His. Even when you cannot guard them, and His protection is greater than anything you could provide. This bloodline is also over your destiny. You wonder if the enemy will steal what God has promised. You wonder if he will destroy your calling, if he will rob you of your purpose. But I tell you today, he cannot. The future God has written for you cannot be erased by the devil's hands. The destiny God has sealed cannot be altered by the enemy's schemes. The plan of God is sovereign, immovable, unstoppable. The devil cannot cross into your tomorrow. He cannot invade the future God has ordained. Your path is secured by the one who holds eternity in his hand. Walk boldly, walk with confidence, walk as one who is untouchable. Let me tell you, there is no curse, no witchcraft, no spell, no dark power that can break through the bloodline of God. People may plot, they may speak against you, they may rise up in envy and hatred, but their words are powerless. They may curse, but the curse will return to their own lips. They may send arrows, but the arrows will fall harmless at the boundary. They may gather against you, but their gathering will scatter in confusion. Why? Because there is a line. Because you are marked. Because you are preserved by God. The devil cannot cross this bloodline, and this truth must burn inside your heart. You are not fighting for victory. You are standing in victory. You are not trying to win. You have already been marked. as one who is protected. The battle is not to see whether you will be destroyed. The battle is only whether you will believe the truth or the lie. If you believe the truth, you will live in peace. If you believe the lie, you will live in fear. Choose today to believe the truth. Choose today to declare the authority of God over your life. Choose today to rise with boldness and say, I am behind the bloodline, and no power of darkness can touch me. The world may tremble, nations may shake, economies may collapse, disasters may strike, but the one who is behind the bloodline of God remains unshaken. The one who is covered by his hand remains unmovable. Do not let your heart be troubled by what you see around you. Do not let your faith be shaken by the storms of life. You are preserved. You are protected. You are marked. The devil cannot cross this bloodline. The devil cannot cross this bloodline because it is God himself who has drawn it with his eternal authority. A line placed by man can be erased. A wall built by man can be torn down. But when God establishes a boundary, it is unshakable and indestructible. The enemy may rage, but his rage is powerless against the hand of God. The enemy may plot in darkness, but his plans crumble when they come face to face with the light of God's protection. The enemy may shout lies, but the truth of God silences his voice. This is why you must anchor your heart in the assurance that you are living under divine separation. You are not unguarded. You are not exposed. You are marked and covered by the one who rules all of creation. Think for a moment about what the enemy fears most. It does not fear your possessions. He does not fear your knowledge. He does not fear your position in this world. What he fears is the mark of God upon you. He fears the invisible protection that surrounds you. He fears the authority that God has sealed over your life. That is why he works so hard to distract you from the truth. He wants you to look at what is visible and forget what is invisible. He wants you to see the storm and forget the shelter. He wants you to see the arrows flying and forget the shield that is raised above you. But when you turn your eyes back to God and recognize his protective hand, fear loses its grip and you stand immovable. It is a testimony. This one belongs to God. It is a spiritual banner that declares ownership. Just as a shepherd marks his sheep, just as a king seals his property, God has marked you as his own. This is why the enemy cannot invade your destiny. He cannot write a new story over what God has already sealed. He cannot undo what God has already decreed. When God has said, "This one is mine," that declaration echoes through eternity. Every spirit of darkness hears it. Every power of destruction recognizes it. Every demon trembles before it. And yet many of you live as though you are unmarked. You walk in fear as if the devil can come and go as he pleases. You lose sleep at night thinking of what could happen. You tremble at the thought of attacks that may come. But let me tell you, you are not exposed to the will of darkness. You are not left unguarded on the battlefield. You are encircled by the line of God. He has stationed his protection around you. He has spoken his authority over you. And when the devil sees that line, he knows he cannot pass. He may threaten, but he cannot touch. He may shout, but he cannot step across. The wisdom of God is this. It is found in standing behind the boundary God has already drawn. Many try to fight in their own strength, to resist in their own wisdom, to overcome in their own ability. But the true place of safety is surrender to the covering of God. When you place yourself fully under his authority, you place yourself fully within his protection. It is not your fight. It is his. It is not your wall. It is his. It is not your strength that keeps the devil back. It is the power of God's bloodline that holds him at a distance. Do not forget the enemy studies you. He observes you. A looks for weaknesses in your armor. But the moment he sees you standing in faith, declaring the authority of God over your life, he knows he is defeated. Faith is what activates your awareness of the bloodline. Faith is what strengthens your confidence in God's protection. Faith is what keeps you unmoved when the storm rages. Without faith, you tremble at the shadows. With faith, you laugh at the darkness because you know the truth. The devil cannot cross this bloodline. Let me show you another angle. The bloodline of God is not only protection, it is a pathway. It does not only keep evil out, it keeps you in. It keeps you aligned with the will of God. It keeps you walking in His order. It keeps you from wandering into destruction. When God draws a line, He is not only keeping darkness from entering, He is keeping you from leaving the place of safety. And how many times has He pulled you back from choices that would have led to disaster? How many times has He closed doors that you thought were good, but in reality were traps? That is the bloodline at work. It is guiding you, preserving you, steering your destiny away from harm. The devil may try to convince you that God's boundary is a prison. He will whisper, "Why not step outside? Why not explore the other side? Why limit yourself?" But those are lies designed to lure you into destruction. The boundary of God is not a prison. It is freedom. It is safety. It is peace. It is the assurance that while the world crumbles, you are held together. To stay behind the bloodline is to live in the fullness of God's protection. To step outside of it is to expose yourself to battles you were never meant to fight. This bloodline also guards your mind. The greatest battleground the enemy attacks is not outside of you. It is within you. He plants lies. He steers confusion. He brings fear. He magnifies worry. But when your mind is surrendered to God, the bloodline surrounds your thoughts. His peace becomes the guard over your heart. His truth becomes the shield against every lie. His promises become the anchor that holds you firm. When your mind is aligned with God, no arrow of the enemy can pierce through. The devil may attempt to sow doubt, but the seed will not take root because the soil of your heart is already sealed by God's protection. And let us not forget the most powerful truth. This bloodline does not fade. It does not weaken with time. It does not lose its power with age. The same God who drew it yesterday is guarding it today and will preserve it tomorrow. His protection is eternal because His word is eternal. The enemy may change his tactics, but the line of God remains unmoved. The seasons of your life may change, but the boundary of God remains fixed. Music, you may grow old. You may pass through valleys. You may face storms, but the bloodline of God remains unshaken. That is why you can rest. That is why you can walk in peace. That is why you can declare with boldness, no matter what comes against me, no matter what I face, the devil cannot cross this bloodline. The protection of God is not just for individuals. It is not only individuals who stand under God's protection, nations do as well. When a people rise to honor God, when a community surrenders to His authority, it draws a line around them. The enemy may rage against the land, but God preserves those who belong to Him. History has shown this again and again. Destruction approached, judgment neared, chaos threatened, yet it could not consume those whom God had marked. And what happens on a national scale happens in your home as well. When you honor God in your household, when you surrender your family to His rule, He draws a bloodline around your dwelling. Darkness cannot invade a home that God has sealed. Evil cannot rule over a family that is surrendered to Him. This is why you must rise as a watchman over your home. Declare daily that your household belongs to God. Speak boldly that your family is covered. Pray with authority that God's line surrounds every room, every door, every member of your home. Do not leave your loved ones exposed to fears, lies, or spiritual attacks. Stand firm not with human strength, but with faith in the divine bloodline God has drawn. And as you stand, watch what happens. Peace fills your home, confusion disappears, harmony takes over, because the devil cannot cross the bloodline of a surrendered family. And to those worried about the future, listen carefully. The bloodline of God is already ahead of you. You may not know what tomorrow holds, but God does. He has already drawn his line across your path. He has marked your steps. He has sealed your destiny. The enemy may whisper fear about what is coming, but the future is not in his hands. It is in God's, and God has already declared, the enemy cannot cross into what I have ordained. So walk boldly into the unknown. Walk with courage into tomorrow. You are not stepping into uncertainty unprotected. You are walking behind the line of God's eternal covering. This is why you must rise with confidence. This is why you must stop trembling at shadows and start declaring truth. Whenever fear speaks, answer it. The devil cannot cross this bloodline. Whenever doubt whispers, declare, I am marked by God, I am covered by God, I am preserved by God. Whenever the enemy threatens, remind him, you have no access here. You have no authority here. You cannot cross this bloodline. The moment you declare truth with conviction, your faith ignites, your peace strengthens, and your spirit rises above every lie of darkness. Beloved, the devil cannot cross this bloodline because it is not drawn by human strength. It is the eternal seal of God. Let this truth be a fire inside you, an anchor beneath you, and a courage that carries you forward. Too long have you let fear dictate your steps. Too long have you trembled at shadows. Too long have you doubted your protection. But today, rise with a new spirit. Rise with holy confidence. Rise with the assurance that the hand of God surrounds you on every side. Do not live as if you are unprotected. Live as one who knows you are preserved. Do not walk like someone vulnerable. Walk like someone untouchable by the power of darkness. Do not think of yourself as abandoned. See yourself as chosen, marked, and secured by God Almighty. There is a bloodline around your life, your home, your destiny. No power of hell can cross it. Not yesterday, not today, not tomorrow. The storms may roar, but they will not consume you. The arrows may fly, but they will not pierce you. The plots may rise, but they will not succeed. You are not at the mercy of destruction. You are kept by the decree of God. And when you truly believe this, when you hold it in your heart, speak it with your mouth, and walk it out in your life, you will rise to new peace, new strength, and unshakable faith. So I urge you, leave fear behind. Step out of doubt. Stop empowering the lies of the enemy. Lift your head, square your shoulders, and declare with unbreakable conviction, I belong to God. I am sealed by His authority. I stand behind His bloodline. No darkness can touch me. Let this become your song. Carry this truth into every battle, every valley, every season. And as you do, you will watch the enemy retreat. You will see chains break. You will see peace flood your soul. You will witness God's hand moving again and again. Now walk in courage, walk in boldness, walk in unshakable faith, for the devil cannot cross this bloodline. Let your life be the testimony. Let your peace be the proof. Let your unwavering spirit be the sign. You are marked. You are preserved. You are untouchable in the hands of Almighty God. The devil cannot cross this bloodline. And because of that, you will stand, you will endure, and you will fulfill the purpose for which you were created. Rise up, believe it, declare it, live it. For God's hand is upon you, and no darkness can prevail.